Kiss. Keep it simple, stupid.
I promise you, this is not a political podcast.
Jump from the deep end of the pool, set up the mood. Paranoid radio, set up the mood. Paranoid radio, set up the mood. Paranoid radio, set up the mood. 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 Set up the mood.
Photoshop my ass. They've been doing that shit. They tell you what's Photoshop because they've been photoshopping fucking Joe Biden with his family, and we all know he's probably dead already. I don't know.
It's very possible, actually.
Good to see you, big dog.
You too, but I don't think my working, but I guess we don't need it, I guess.
You're what?
Hold on.
Holding on.
Oh, yeah, be good now.
By this time,
No,
we're not good. Go ahead and set it up and.
You hear me?
Yep.
Okay, there we go.
Loud and clear.
Okay, I just got to get it going.
All right. By this time, you guys already know who the fuck we are because this shit's setting the mood. Testicles, 1, 2. Testicles. Welcome back to Paranoid Radio Podcast, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. I am Trebles Garcia, your humble host. You know that this is the best show with the best content for the best listeners. And ladies and gentlemen, we challenge reality one episode at a time. I want to thank the Lord for allowing me to be here today. And I want to thank every single one of you for allowing me to enter the space. And ladies and gentlemen, do not forget that the most important thing that you can do for the show today is word of mouth. Check us out at paranoidradio.com. Check out the affiliations. And if you're going through suicidal thoughts, you're not alone. We know what this pain looks like. If you are living through addiction, if you're fighting and challenging addiction every single day, you're not alone. Check out paranoidradio.com. That is a new hub. You need to text someone, call someone, speak with someone, chat bot, whoever does it, you need to get it off your chest. There's a link there. The first thing that you'll see is the link. Click on the link and speak with someone today. Do not off yourself. Guys, we love you. And do not forget to check us out at paranoidradio.com. We have affiliations with Flavors of the Forest and also CRYPTID Warfare Operations. These guys are met and they're unifying together to kill and destroy entities around your home. If you're paranormally activated, hit them up. They will guide you. And also, live parasitic free with your family and teach your kids how to be healthy one more time with Ali Christine. The link is in the website. That is an official hub now. Check us out with all the affiliations, guys. These guys are great people, great Americans, surviving. And they're challenging reality one episode at a time. They're actually making deposits into the bank of knowledge. Check us out at paranoidradio.com. Do not forget to drop a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. That allows other people to enjoy the show as much as I enjoy making it. Now, let's dive deep into the pool and set the fucking mood. Please give a warm welcome to my next special guest. He's been here before. He is my co-host, best friend in the motherfucking game, Flash from Flash_News1. What's up, Flash?
That's me, brother. Thank you for the intro. What's up, everybody? It's been a while.
Yeah.
We got a lot to talk about.
You are the political analyst of Paranoid Radio Podcast. You bring flavor and spunk and energy and the most underrated, highly critiqued analyst onto the show. We don't get our information from anywhere else, but we get it from the heart, passion, and knowledge. You sell logic over magic. You are a patriot, business owner, and father. Let them know where they can find you.
Yeah, man, I'm over on Instagram, Flash_News1. All restrictions have been lifted. Pumping over there. I added some, like a bunch of the followers, like 400 or 500 last couple of days. So welcome those people to the podcast for the first time. This is what we do every 2 weeks, hopefully, and we haven't done it in a while. So let's get to it, man.
100 days.
100 days. Wow, man. Yeah, we'll just start with 100 days. I mean, just reflecting back on, I often think, what was the first 100 days of Biden like? Because we hear in the media how chaotic things have been, and oh my God, it's terrible. It's the worst administration ever, and the stock market. Well, if you go back to Biden's first 100 days, the stock market actually was doing worse for longer. We've already made up all of the lost stock market that we lost. We made it back up already. It was worse for longer. Inflation got out of control. Gas went up to $5. 13 service members died in the withdrawal from Afghanistan, which people forgot. People wanted the biggest knock on Trump. The only thing that's happened is the signal gate with Pete Hegseth, the Secretary of Defense. I'm sorry, did anybody fucking die? Did anybody lose their life because of that? Was the mission unsuccessful because of it? No. So that's the only thing that they have. So, I like to give that contrast because I think we forget it was a long time ago, 4 years ago. So many things have happened since that time. And I think, and then, the border. Oh, I'm sorry. I think there was like 1 million people when were in here in the first 100 days of Biden's administration.
Get the
1
fuck
million
out.
people in 100 days. That's what. And remember, there was a line. The caravans were coming. There was a line of people. This shit was out of control, bro. It was absolutely nuts. That's when the terrorists were coming in. All this stuff. So now we fast forward. What do we see? The border is 100, almost 99.99% secure. They let in 9 people in the first 100 days, and they let them in because medical emergency. And with one of them, I think another one was pregnant. They gave birth, so not because of any other thing. And nobody's coming. There's no one coming. There's no gotaways anymore. And then so compare that to how many gotaways, how many people were. I think it was 18,000 a month at one point. I mean, like this is come on, like this. The contrast is clear. So. And then if we do look at the stock market, the things that we're doing now, a lot of this. So the new GDP numbers came today, and they're negative 0.03, which is to be expected. But people understand that this is the quarterly numbers. This quarter was last quarter, which Trump was not the president. So none of this is his economy. None of this is his anything right now.
Get it straight.
That's a huge. Like people don't even understand how any of this works, right? Like look at the GDP. No, he's only been here since January 20th. A quarter is a lot longer than that. So it's from that, right? So and the tariffs haven't even taken place yet. So you can't even blame it on the tariffs, right? And a lot of the chaos that we're seeing is media generated chaos. They're literally running pro-Chinese propaganda in order for Trump to drop the tariffs on the Chinese goods. Because it's not like we can't get other shit. Like, and like people want to talk about inflation or the price of goods are going to go up. Listen, we're talking about luxury goods. We're talking about the price of a fucking Apple iPhone. Okay, we're talking about things you don't need in your life every day, like eggs and gas and energy and all the other things that are actually coming down, the things that matter, the things that went way up under Biden that the media completely ignored and told us it was transitory and it wasn't a big deal and don't worry about it. Now prices are coming down for the things that matter, and prices haven't even gone up yet for any of the other things. They're just predicting that it might. So literally creating the panic, right, in the market, but they're creating that panic. So because the market likes certainty, and right now there's a little uncertainty with Trump's plans, but we need that uncertainty to bring these people to the table because these other countries don't know what Trump's going to do. Is he going to lift the tariffs? Is he going to put them up? Is he going to put? We need that uncertainty for them to get a little nervous and be like, okay, what do we need, man? What do we got to do to make a deal? Because their markets, their economy cannot handle it the way ours can. That's
word. You guys forget about who the hell we are. Also,
exactly,
dude. And someone that forgot who the hell we are is Amazon. Talk to me, big dog.
Wow. So that's tails right into this trade war, right? So Amazon originally, so they picked a side in this trade war, or it looked like they did, and they picked China, and that's not surprising because they exploit the Chinese slave labor of the Uyghur Muslim population, their minority population that make all of our Nike shoes and all of this shit. And then what Amazon does though is that so say if I'm a small company in America, I have an idea, I get it all done, boom, I sell, I put it on Amazon to sell. Amazon sees it, if it's like really popular, doing well, they'll go to a Chinese factory, have them make the same fucking thing a little bit different, and sell it for half the price, completely undercutting you as a company, as an American company, by Chinese cheap goods, right? That's what they pretty much do, right? So now what they said they were going to do was they hired a Chinese propaganda firm to find a way to pretty much put pressure on Trump to take the tariffs off. So what they were going to do is they were going to put a little tariff tab, I guess, next to every item that you bought on Amazon. They were going to put a little star, like this is how much more you're paying because of Trump's tariffs. They were going to put because of Trump's tariffs. Did you do that when Joe Biden did 9% inflation? Did you show what it used to be and what it was today? Have you done that at all in the last 3 years to show how much prices actually went up for the things that actually matter? Of course not. So Trump rightfully said something. He was like, this is a hostile political act. And it 100% is, because it was for the Chinese Communist Party, right? So
obviously.
So now they backtracked because Amazon stock completely tanked on just the news of this. And it was a reporter who asked Trump's administration about it. Trump didn't say anything. They were like, oh yeah, well, if you want to talk about that, it was a political act. Boom, the stock market went down. Amazon caved. They came to the table. They're not going to do that. So we won on that one. But I actually kind of was hoping that they would, because then we would know exactly what not to buy, exactly what items to not buy.
I like
exactly
that.
What items are from America and what not. And so So I think all of this is just fear porn, bro. They're just trying to scare people into putting pressure on Trump so his approval ratings will go down, so that he'll be like, oh my God, I'm not popular. I'm such an
Which
egomaniac.
that came out too. There was a poll somewhere that I guess he
Psyop
was.
polls.
Oh my
Straight
God,
psyop
dude.
polls, bro. And it's the same side. It's the same polls that had Kamala Harris winning, that had Kamala Harris winning
Which was
Iowa
a
by
lie.
14 points. They had for all the come on. It's like, bro, it's the same people. And what they do is that they oversample Democrats. They have to show you what they do. So if you look at the tabs and like behind the page, you don't just read the fucking headlines. They ask like 70% Democrats and 30% Republicans. Of course, he's going to be under 50% if you ask more Democrats because they don't like him. They don't like what he's doing. So it's like, come
Exactly.
on, bro. And he won the popular vote. We want to assume this. And you know what it is? No one can be surprised what's going on. He told us what he was going to do. He ran on what he was going to do, and now he's doing it. There's no surprises here.
What is surprising for me was, well, actually not really surprising because that's how conspiracy theory works. I'm a Star Wars fan, and the day that episode 3, Revenge of the Sith came out, the Pope died, and then when the 20th anniversary released,
Oh
the Pope
wow!
died again, the
Whoa!
re-release, and I was in the movies when I seen that. I was like, I was watching Star Wars last week, so I just wanted to bring that
I
in
didn't
because
know
the next,
that, bro. That's crazy.
it's trippy. The Revenge of the Sith, for some reason, there's a conspiracy theory there, but hey,
Yeah.
and by all means.
May the 4th is about to be here too, bro. Oh wow!
Yo,
Okay.
and then funny is that people were talking about the guys. Please do a little research, guys. Guys, I'm a conspiracy theorist, and I want to believe it, but that's logical, guys. A little historical. Dive into the Bible a little bit. Then I'm gonna let you take it off right now, Flash. But the inverted crosses in Saint Peter's Basilica is because Peter was crucified upside down.
Yep.
The upside down crucifixion wasn't satanic until the last century when satanic panic happened. Everybody wanted to fucking sell it as satanic. It's not originally satanic, guys. Anyway, the point is, Pope died. Vance checked him out. What's going on, bro?
Man, I don't. It's hard not to draw some kind of conclusion here. The Pope felt well enough, I guess, to be out in public again. He was doing a lot better. He had a close call there. And then JD Vance came, shook his hand. Guy never went to sleep, never woke back up. I don't know. And then there was a conspiracy theory out there that someone was warning that they had some kind of setup for JD Vance once he went to the Vatican, that they were going to hit him with like a spell of some kind, that they were going to put some kind of witchcraft on him. So maybe they countered that, and they knew what was going on. There's it's all spiritual warfare that's happening right now.
Absolutely. Everything is spiritual.
And we know who the Pope is. I know there's some Catholics out there. I grew up Catholic. Listen, I have respect for the papacy, for the position, for the chair, but not for this man. This man opened the door to gay marriage. This man opened the door to globalism. He got on Trump for the deportations and stuff like that. It's like, listen, so he chose a side, and he chose the side of the globalists. He's not even a Catholic. He was a Jesuit. So that's maybe we can get a Pope that's actually Catholic. Like that would be cool. So like that's not even we don't have to go down that. I just think that there might be something there, man, because I did hear that. I forgot who said it, but they were breaking it all down, how this is spiritual warfare, and that that they had a plan for JD Vance when he went there. So maybe JD Vance got his his armor of God on, went there.
Untouchable. You never
fucking know. You never know, man. You know
what's something that connects JD Vance to the Pope is also into the next topic is that JD Vance is born. I mean, it's married to an Indian woman, and happened right after that happened. India got hit with Pakistan. Now, I'm not saying that's connected, but you bring that in, bro.
Yep. So that's right. And so I think I said on the podcast on the Reel that I really felt that every time we're going to hear a trade deal, they're going to hit that country with a terrorist attack. Because if you just take the Democrats at their own word, Jamie Raskins, the congressman, have literally been warning other countries, do not make a deal with Trump or you're going to suffer the consequences when we get power back. Like that's treason, first of all. Like that's crazy that you even say something like that. But if they're saying that publicly, I could only imagine what they're saying behind the closed doors. And there's a deep state everywhere. There's deep states in every country. They have who knows who's trying to sabotage what right now with these trade deals too. So I think JD Vance went to India, right? And they announced that they had a blueprint for a new trade deal. Now, India is a 1.4 billion people population. If we get that market opened up to our farmers, to any of we don't need China. China also has 1.4 billion people. So whatever. And India is going to take the place of China in a lot of ways because they can build all the cell phones, they can do all the rare earth mineral, they can do all that shit over there. So and Modi and Trump are really close, right? And so China sees this, what was going on, and China also gave a little warning to other countries: don't get involved with this trade war, blah blah blah, whatever. And India actually has some of the most highest tariffs on our country, because they're very nationalist people. They believe in products that they make for themselves, good for them, and that's what Trump said. He's like, I don't blame these people. Like, it's just what it is. But if you want to do business moving forward, you're going to drop those tariffs. So India is going to be the first one. So now, as soon as they said that, new trade deal, blueprints, literally, and while JD Vance was still there, an hour later, there was a terrorist attack by Pakistani Muslim terrorists.
Damn.
They went into a tourist place in Kashmir, India, and they killed people looking for Hindus. And the way they did that was they made the men take off their pants to see if they were circumcised or not. Muslims are circumcised, Hindus aren't. So they killed all the men that were not circumcised. So that's how this is what we're dealing with, this Islam Muslim stuff. Like, this shit ain't a game. But there's a lot of history between Pakistan and India. They hate each other, but both have nukes, which is fucking crazy. So that's really scary. And so now India has turned off the water supply to Pakistan.
Wow.
80% of it, which is an active war. And so now
100%.
We're going to see. And so now, but China always has backed Pakistan. Now the United States backs India. So are we walking into another proxy war right when we're trying to get out of Russia, Ukraine? We're walking into a fucking another one right here. So it's like, this is what we're dealing with, though. This has nothing to do with Trump. I mean, I guess it does, because of probably the trade deals, right? That they're trying to put pressure on these countries, and maybe it's sending a little bit of a smoke screen to other, like, if you guys make this deal, it's the same shit's gonna happen to you guys.
Word. Yeah.
So we're dealing with Trump is trying to reshape the whole global order of everything.
So at the cost of our rib, at the cost of our kids' ribs, at the cost of our grandchildren's ribs, we have to completely overlook the fucking that we're getting by the world so that they don't go to war. I mean, this is This is
Pretty
basically,
much, yep,
at the
exactly.
cost of our children's health,
Bro,
freedom.
we're being held hostage.
Yeah, word.
We're a slave world in a lot of ways, and we're absolutely being held hostage, bro. 100%.
Talking about holding hostage and moving on to the next point, bro. Census counts illegals. Give me some of that,
bro. So a really good report came out about how illegals are obviously, when they come around for the census, they don't ask you if you're a citizen or anything. They just count heads. They just count how many people are in the country, how many people are in each county, how many people are in each state. And based on population, that's how you get your congressional seats. That's how you get your electoral count number. That's why California has so many electoral
facts.
Because that's why they have so many House seats, because they have so many people. Same with New York, same with Texas and Florida. So, but now they find out that they actually broke down the numbers about how many congressional seats a party would get because of illegal immigrants, right? And this is where we go. This is why we have sanctuary cities.
Yes.
This is why they keep them here no matter what, even if they're arrested, even if they're in jail, it still counts. You still count the people in your county, right? So 27 seats at least the Democrats have gained because of this, because of illegal immigrants being in their state, being in their county. So we would have a 27-seat majority right now in the House if we did. And this is not legal migrants. This is illegal immigrants that have come to this country illegally. That 1.4 million have a deportation order that haven't been deported. So this is, bro. And then so this is why we have sanctuary cities. This is why we have judges hiding these fucking people in, in their courtrooms. This is why they're willing to go to jail to keep these people here. This is why they're trying to fly to El Salvador to bring them back, because if that game gets broken, there's another census coming in 2030. That's the next one. So this is why Trump is trying to do mass deportations by, as soon as we can, because that next census comes, bro. They're going to, and everybody's leaving these states too. They're moving out, right? They're moving out of these states. So, bro, they're about to get hit with, they're going to lose a lot of seats, a lot of electoral count. Bro, this country should be red for the next 100 years, honestly.
And we have, talking about deportations, bro, you said something about suspend habeas corpus, his last card.
Right.
What?
So if the courts continue to keep getting in the way, if they keep obstructing, this is what they're doing, is obstructing. We literally have judges hiding fucking criminally illegal aliens in their courtroom. They continue to do this. Trump can suspend habeas corpus, which is the law that you have to present yourself in a court of law in order to have any kind of ruling by a judge. So if you suspend habeas corpus, they don't get due process. Essentially, they don't have to see a judge. They don't have to see anybody. You take that right away from them, and so he can do this just for illegal aliens. It's, this has been used before by Ulysses S. Grant, by Lincoln, and by FDR, which are some of the greatest presidents ever. So, the left loves FDR. That's their favorite president. So he used it for American citizens. So, we're just going to use it for illegal aliens, because now the argument is that they need due process. But that's ridiculous. There's 10 million people here that came here illegally. At least due process would take 100 years. If we had to do due process for every single one of them, they skipped that due process. They lost that right when they came here illegally. And that's Trump's argument. So if we have to go that route, we will, and the courts can do nothing about it. So, this is what Trump does, right? He lets kind of this stuff run wild. It looks crazy. Judges are getting arrested now. So because now the public opinion, which I've always talked about, needs to catch up. And we see it in the polling that, 60% of people want all criminally illegal aliens out of here, whether they're here working, whether they're criminals or not. They came here illegally, they want them out. So this is what we're waiting for. We're waiting for this public opinion to put the pressure so then Trump can do crazy looking things like this, and it won't actually look crazy because he'll have enough of the support to do it. Suspending habeas corpus, you can get these people out, boom, boom, boom. Just get them, catch them, see you, done.
Try giving due process to the person that breaks through the back door of your house to eat your food and leave you in the freaking street while your kids don't have new shoes and your kids can't go to school or use any other public sources that we offer out there. You try doing that, guys. It's the same fucking logic. You just want to fucking pick and choose when to apply the pressure. 100%. And dude, applying pressure brings me to the next topic. Armando Garcia. Some people are calling that guy my cousin. What's up with this kid, bro? What is up with Mr. MS-13?
Bro.
My primo.
It's so funny, but because we've seen this story kind of just disappear now, right? Like they haven't really talked about it. No one's asking to bring this guy back anymore. And Trump played this beautifully. He made it. That was hard. A mistake. He let them run wild with it. And he didn't release any of the information. Just whatever. He was just like, whatever. We made a mistake. Maybe, I don't know. They went down there, they did all this stuff, and then he started releasing the information, the pictures of his knuckles, the fact that he was, arrested with other MS-13 gang members. He was pulled over in a car that was used for human smuggling, all this stuff, right? Every day, putting it out. Now they look terrible, bro. They literally have the MS-13 gang. They had the knuckles, the fucking MS-13 on his knuckles. He had that. Now we find out that the ex-husband of his wife, the one that's fighting for him because she's so great, the one that he beat the shit out of, the ex-husband filed a complaint with the court because he was concerned for his kids that are hanging out with a gang member. That's what he said in a court of law under oath. He said he's concerned for his kids because her new husband, Armando Garcia, is an MS-13 gang member. So it's like, how much more proof do you fucking need? It's like,
how much more proof do you need?
Yeah, man. Like it's an old story, but we had to bring it back up because it was a goodie, man.
And Canada has now elected a new globalist, bro. He is talking a lot of freaking crap.
Yeah, bro. So what's happening is Canada's going more the European Union route, right? That's really what's going on right now. And it's unfortunate because they're going to hit them with the censorship now. They're talking about UK, you're going to jail for a meme. That's already happening over there. Same thing's coming to Canada, and it's really unfortunate because, the conservative was supposed to win, and then everyone's blaming Trump because as soon as he talked about, being the 51st state, that's the fault is of the conservative candidate because he was such a bad candidate. He started bad mouthing Trump, and then the voters were like, bro, we like what the Trump was talking about. We don't have to be the 51st state, but like, what are you bashing Trump now for? You sound like the liberals. There was no daylight between them. They sounded exactly the same. And he was always a fake conservative anyway, bro. They're all WEF puppets over there, World Economic Forum puppets, unfortunately. Now, Canada, they've had 10 years of liberal governments, and every metric measurable is horrible. You can't afford a house over there. Everyone said, oh, they got free healthcare, but people are dying waiting to see a doctor over there. And that's why they approved assisted suicide for pretty much anybody. If you're depressed, you can do assisted suicide in Canada.
Talk about satanic, dog. These guys
it's crazy what's going on over there. And now, people aren't having babies, so that's why they did the mass immigration too. You look at Canada, it's not the same. It's completely changed. And all these countries are starting to look the same. And that's what they're doing, is that they're taking the identity of these countries. What made Italy be Italy is being taken away. What made France be France is being taken away. It's all going to look the same.
Bro, imagine a future where you say, I'm gonna go get my daily dose of assistant suicide. Assistance suicide, bro?
Yeah, bro. The government should not be involved with that at all, bro. Like it's
Dog,
scary, man.
what?
It's really scary, bro. And they're doing it not just for people that are terminally ill. That's what it was supposed to be for. You know, like for people that are on deathbed. Now they're doing it for people that are depressed or people that whatever. And it's crazy, bro.
That's
Because that
deep.
they to them, to the state, it's cheaper to kill someone than it is to take care of them.
Get the fuck out.
That's what
Get
it is,
the
bro.
fuck out, dude.
They can't afford the social security that they have. They can't afford the health care, the free health care that everyone loves. They can't afford it, so they're killing people. Bro, it's crazy, bro.
No tax under 200,000 in tips, bro. Whoa, this is big.
And this is the balancing effect, right? So let's just say prices haven't gone up, and they're not going to per se. They might, but even if they do, we're going to see a balancing effect. Okay, I don't mind paying 50 cents more for a pair of jeans if I'm not getting taxed on my tips, not getting taxed on my overtime. My gas is cut in half. My egg prices are cut in half. The price of groceries are coming down. My mortgage rate came down. All my policy, my inflation is down to 2%. It completely levels out. All of these people are so disingenuous. Where were you when the prices were going up 20% for everything that was important? Where was the outrage? Where was the concern? The prices haven't even gone up yet, and people want to act like this is the fucking end times because a couple billionaires lost some money in the stock market. Like it's the craziest thing, and they're actually creating the uncertainty. They're creating the big whales on Wall Street to sell because they're listening to the news, because they watch CNN and believe what the fuck they hear. They think that's actually sound advice and that's actually going to happen, bro. And they did this the first term. They said that, oh my God, doom and gloom, that all these tariffs were going to raise prices. Inflation was zero, no prices went up. So just in case if they do, though, we're going to have a balancing effect. No tax on tips. This is going to pass this bill, and we don't need 60 in the Senate. We just need 51. It's a reconciliation. So this is going to pass. It's going to pass the House. It's going to pass the Senate, and there's going to be it's going to be the biggest tax break in American history for the middle class.
Think about it, dog. Under $200,000, bro. I'm gonna
Bro,
have no tax on 200. Dude, that is probably
it's like 40% of your check back, bro. Or your yearly
40% of my check, dog. They're charging me 35% today, bro. I'm not fucking lying, dog. I'm living in California. This is unless California wants to pop up their shit and bring up their shit, but then that's a local government, right?
Could. Right, and they'll probably get voted out for that because California's right on that edge, bro. You know, they're right there, man. They're ready for a red wave over there. They kind of had it in 2024, bro. It's very possible, bro.
That was a huge outcome.
There's more conservatives that live in California than in any other state in the country. So if they can get together and you guys get sick enough of it, it's gonna happen, bro.
At my job
in 2028.
At my job, I am hated because I am the only loud Trumper in the building. The other two people that I'm not gonna mention the names, but they're important. They are in important roles, just to say the least. The other two people that are also Trumpers, they're very quiet, and we don't hate on anybody. We actually get along with every single human being in this facility. And you know what's funny? It's only the people that hate Trump that hate me and that hate those other two people, and they're the loudest ones, bro. It's just like, what? Like, how the fuck does that work? Conservatives. It's only it gives to show, bro. It gives to show. Anyway, we got two more topics here, bro. Bring them up. California bans laws. Talk to me, bro.
Yeah, this one hits home for you, bro. I mean, they tried to pass another law to make selling a minor for sex a felony. Right now, it is not a felony, which is fucking insane that you can sell a minor for sex and it not be a felony. That's a misdemeanor. Like, what the fuck, bro? Like, that's crazy. So yeah, the Democrats shut it down. Bro. So I mean, these people, it's dark over there, man.
I don't understand how this doesn't affect your body, your soul, your integrity, your heart. I don't understand how this gets through the cracks and you guys quiet about it just because it's not knocking at your door right now, because it's not your child being sold, because it's not you going through the slavery, bro. What the fuck?
It just shows that, because they can't piss off their donors. Their biggest donors are involved in human trafficking, bro. That's it. And they're involved with the cartels at the border, and the border right there in California. I mean, that's what it is, man. That's what it all is right there. So it's sad, bro.
It's sad, guys. And make sure you look that up, guys. Hashtag look that up and try to do something about it. We have one last point here. Let's end this one with the banger, bro. Gaza and Israel update. What's going on?
Man, so I continue. It's kind of dwindling down now that like the narratives and what Candace Owens is doing and
Candace. I'm not a fan of her
ripple
anymore.
effect, man. It's sad to watch what because now she just, what it is, she tried to make a name for herself after she got fired from the Daily Wire. She wanted to be different. She wanted to stand out. She needed followers, so she got into really these topics that the right wasn't really talking about, or that left in for interpretation. And then she just took the opposite side. She was just against everything, against everyone. Oh my God, MAGA, everything, whatever. It was a money move. She made it, whatever it is.
It was a money move.
Now she wants to attack this decision to cut back on anti-Semitism in colleges. It has nothing to do with. She knows she's not stupid. It has nothing to do with free speech. She knows that. This has to do with civil rights violations that are being people are complaining about, that are actually suing the government, suing the colleges for civil rights because they feel harassed. This shit has gotten way out of control, bro. They locked a couple of janitors in the closet for 5 hours, said because they love Jews and shit, so they're suing for civil rights.
Yo,
so
what the fuck?
The government has to get involved at some point. I mean, if you're getting sued, and would we do it if the KKK went onto campus and they targeted black students? Of course we would. Whether you like it or not, Jewish people are a minority in this country and in this world. So they get certain protections that maybe other people don't, just like black people do, just like Asian people do. Hate crime laws, all the same shit. So just because it's Jews doesn't mean we rewrite the whole shit, and just ignore it. No, these people are feeling threatened. They're not being able to go to class. They're being stopped from going to class. Their teachers are calling them out for wearing their yarmulkes and shit. Like, it's out of control.
Yeah,
it's crazy, and it's crazy to watch people on the right defend Harvard, defend these indoctrination camps that have caused all of the crazy shit that we see because all the leaders go to these schools, all these secret societies at Yale and the Skull and Bones. Defund every fucking last one of them. I don't care what excuse you need to do it, bro. So Israel, Gaza, hopefully there's a deal to be made there. But I keep thinking about, like, it's hard to claim you're the victim when you are killing hostages and not releasing them. Like, that's the only thing that's giving Israel the right to do what they're doing, or to even any excuse. Not that I agree with it. They're absolutely heavy-handed, and I don't agree with it at all. But Hamas isn't helping themselves.
It's not. Yeah.
Just give up the fucking hostages, bro. And then if they still bomb you, then you could be like, now what are you bombing us for? We gave you the hostages back. But you won't do that. So now you're giving them that leeway to be like, yo, we're trying to get the hostages back. Here we go. Here's bombs on 40,000 people. And not only that, Hamas has revised their death toll numbers. This is the thing about that, bro, is that whenever they talked about this previously in older, in other wars, they would always say these numbers are coming from Hamas. They're coming from the authorities, and they inflate the numbers that they're a terrorist organization. We don't know if they're right. Now they don't even say that. They just say these are the numbers. It's that's what it is. And they're taking Hamas's word for it, that this many children died, that this many people died. So they revised the numbers. It turns out it was like 80% are actually men that died, the combatant men, 80%. Okay, so that's huge. They were saying like half were women and children and all of the stuff. A lot.
They pivoted fast,
but real fast. And maybe there wouldn't be any if you, instead of that aid that's being sent to you, instead of making bombs with it in tunnels, if you actually gave it to your people and stopped launching bombs into Israel, maybe it would be a different story. You know what I mean? There's cause and effect here on both sides. Obviously I feel for them, but it's like at some point you're in control of your own destiny, and they're choosing violence time and time again. So hopefully Trump can get an end to it. But all the big, Trump is controlled by Bibi. He's going to go to war with Iran. I told you that was not going to happen. I said, give it, let him cook. He's not going to go to war. He's not going to do anything he doesn't want to do for Bibi. And he's not. He's choosing diplomacy. They're going to come to the table. They're going to make a new deal with Iran's not going to have a nuclear weapon, bro. We're going to have peace deals, tax deals, and trades deals in the next 100 days. Watch.
Let's fucking go. Let them know where they can find you. Flash_news1.
Instagram, baby, flashy_news1. No restrictions. I'm over there. Oh, and I'm also on X, flashynews14, all one word, as a backup.
That is right. Make sure you check him out, ladies and gentlemen. He's also in the description of this episode. Take time to check us out, paranoidradio.com. Drop a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify, because that allows other people to enjoy the show as much as I enjoy making it.
Let's go.